And this thing is getting even more bizarre.
Birkin bag at Hermes boutique will cost you 38,000 USD. But what is the real cost out of the factory? Today, I'm going to break it down in front of you, step by step. First thing first, Hermes only use the leathers from the 3 top-level suppliers. One is called Muti from Italy. The second is Weinheim from Germany. And the third is Haas from France. One piece of Togo leather, the same leather as this one, will cost 450 USD. And one piece of the leather is only enough to make one Birkin, okay? The thread. And of course, for Hermes Birkin, the thread is also the best top level. It's called Fil al Chinois from France. This is actually the Rolls Royce in thread. For each bag, the cost is 25 USD. And then the hardware. See, this hardware is called 316 hardware. It's also known as the ocean stainless steel because it can withstand the erosion of seawater. It's the best stainless steel. For one piece of bag, the hardware will cost 150 USD.
I still can't believe how deep this goes. Megyn Kelly just dropped a bomb that's got Louis Vuitton looking real shaky right now. She says this isn't just a little business breakup with Chinese factories. It's straight up war. And get this. It ain't about some contract dispute or a few missed payments. Nope, it's way more personal than that.
The edge oil. This edge oil is imported from Italy. It's called It Seal edge oil. For each bag, it will cost 50 USD. The interior lining, it used lambskin imported from France. For each bag, the cost will be 100 USD. And also inside, there is a zipper from Riri brand. And the zipper for one bag is 10 USD.
According to Megyn, these manufacturers have been sitting back for years, collecting proof, playing it cool, and waiting for the perfect moment to strike. And now, boom, they're done being silent. They're dragging Louis Vuitton's name all the way through the mud. These factories say they were straight up disrespected, underpaid, ignored, and treated like their work meant nothing, even though they were the ones actually putting in the sweat to make those fancy luxury items. And then Louis Vuitton had the nerve to blame them for poor quality? Please. They say that's the straw that snapped everything in half. Here's where it gets real nasty. They're claiming Louis Vuitton was slapping Made in France labels on items that never even touched France. Meanwhile, the real work was being done in China by folks who never got credit.
Most of them are made in China. And most of them are made in our factory. Yeah, I'm telling you. But why these luxury brands never tell you that? Because they are trying to pretend to be products of some sophisticated European countries like Italy.
That's not just shady. That's scandal-level deception. And they didn't leave quietly either. Megyn says these manufacturers are spilling everything. Fake country of origin labels, sketchy deals behind closed doors, and secret partnerships that were never supposed to see daylight. It's all coming out like a tidal wave. This ain't just some supplier drama. This is a full-on takedown of Louis Vuitton's whole reputation. And they might not bounce back from this one.
We are going to be successful. In a few weeks, the shop was open. We sell the most expensive products in a country where everybody was going by.
So if Louis Vuitton ain't really about French luxury and artisan vibes, what is it even selling? This ain't just some factory mishap. This is a full-on identity meltdown. We're talking red carpets, celeb endorsements, influencers flexing their LV bags. All of that glitter is starting to crack. And it's looking real messy. Megyn Kelly's bombshell has folks asking some serious questions. If even half of what she's saying is legit, this could be the start of Louis Vuitton's downfall.
Point is, I think it's crazy how designer brands have been selling things for thousands when China sell them on and literally they're so cheap. If the Chinese manufacturers are making the same, like the actual Birkins, and then they are also selling these on the side as well, technically this is an absolute fucking bargain because it's the exact same material as a.
For decades, they sold us a whole fantasy. Those dreamy, made-in-France fairy tales. Like every handbag and belt was handcrafted by a soft-lit, beret-wearing artisan in a Parisian atelier. But Megyn? She's calling that bluff hard. She's claiming the real birthplace of Louis Vuitton luxury ain't France. It's deep in China, behind factory doors they never wanted us to see. From sourcing materials, cutting, stitching, even the packaging, these Chinese manufacturers allegedly did it all from beginning to end. And the kicker? The only part they didn't handle was the Made in France tag that got slapped on after the fact. That's not just misleading, it's straight up disrespectful. What's worse, these factories never got a shred of recognition. No features, no thank yous, no tiny mention in the credits, not even a line buried in fine print. It's like they were erased from the whole story, used up in silence and tossed like yesterday's trash. Louis Vuitton thought nobody would ever find out. But now, the secret's out, and it's looking ugly. Megyn Kelly ain't holding back. She claims these factories were paid pennies, while Louis Vuitton was out here marking up prices by over 1,000%. Imagine raking in luxury-level cash while your actual workers can barely get a cut. And when folks started pointing out sloppy stitching, crooked zippers, and weird off-color canvas, Louis Vuitton didn't fix it. They allegedly blamed the same factories they'd been depending on the whole time. That ain't just shady. It's betrayal on a whole different level. It destroys everything the luxury world is supposed to stand for. Megyn's calling it loud. That entire high-end fantasy? It's officially done. This wasn't some little labor dispute or a factory strike gone wrong. Nah, this was surgical, calculated, cold. Kelly says these manufacturers didn't just wake up and quit. They waited, sat silent for years while quietly planning a digital takeover.
Oh, that's no quality issue. It's luxury brand washing.
Hermes, you guys, it's time to show off your factories. No, I don't want to wait to go on YouTube and watch a beautiful documentary on. Show them off right here on TikTok. Let the world see. Okay, get like China. You gotta be ghetto about it. Just let people know.
Insiders claim they built a war chest full of proof, emails, text threads with procurement, payment receipts, shipping records, and internal docs. Stuff that allegedly shows Louis Vuitton knew exactly where their goods were really being made. And when the timing hit just right, boom, they pulled the plug with precision. Megyn says they chose to hit right before Louis Vuitton's huge Fashion Week showcase, right when the whole world was watching. Cameras flashing, influencers buzzing, headlines ready to drop, and then everything came crashing down. This wasn't just a "you did us dirty" moment. It was a power move, a full-on takedown meant to shake up Louis Vuitton's empire. They didn't just expose the truth, they flipped the whole game board in front of the world. Influencers had their content queued up. Stores were locked and loaded for the next big Louis Vuitton launch. But then, boom, everything collapsed in an instant. And let's be clear, this wasn't some minor supply hiccup. This was a fashion hit job. One insider didn't mince words. They called it a full-on fashion assassination, a strategic ambush aimed at destroying more than just the logistics. It was about tearing down the brand's entire facade. The mission? Expose the truth and shatter the myth of Louis Vuitton's so-called luxury dominance. This wasn't just about shutting down production lines. It was about snatching the curtain back and showing the world what's really been hiding behind those glossy, high-budget ad campaigns. And from the looks of it, it's working. Reports are already coming in. Louis Vuitton stores are looking empty in key cities. Orders are stuck in limbo. Buyers are freaking out. And over on TikTok, it's a full-on drag session. Creators are putting LV on blast over janky zippers, frayed stitching, and that overpriced luxury that's suddenly not looking so flawless. The illusion? Cracking wide open. Megyn Kelly said it best. They didn't just lose a factory, they lost the illusion. And the shockwaves didn't stop with fashion lovers. Hollywood felt it too. As soon as this story caught fire, the whispers turned into roars. Celebs started jumping ship, fast. Contracts canceled. Fits swapped last minute. Those big influencer Instagram drops ghosted. One insider claims a major actress, booked for a huge Louis Vuitton campaign, bailed days before filming. No warning, just gone. This wasn't just a PR nightmare. It turned into a full-blown celebrity cleanse. Her team didn't even try to spin it. They called it what it was, a full-blown reputational emergency. Insiders say her publicist didn't sugarcoat a thing, just told her straight up, "This ain't worth the heat." And honestly, they were right. No celeb wants their face tied to a scandal with fake Made in France tags, shady overseas factory secrets, and global headlines dragging a brand through the dirt. In a post-Balenciaga world, one messy scandal can flip a whole career upside down overnight. And it's not just the A-listers running for cover anymore. Rising stars, actors, models, and influencers, especially the ones who've built their brand on being ethical or socially woke, they're either freezing deals or asking the tough questions. Because let's be real, nobody wants to be the poster child for fraud. And right now, Louis Vuitton is being painted like one giant lie dressed up in luxury packaging. Now let's get into Kylie. Anyone else clock that she's been mighty quiet on the Louis Vuitton scene? No neverfull bags, no monogram pouch selfies, no head-to-toe LV fits on the gram. Instead, she's been switching it up, rocking Bottega, vintage Dior, and low-key off-label pieces that scream unbothered but intentional. Fans are peeping the switch, and they're convinced it's on purpose. Kylie doesn't make style moves by accident. She's one of the savviest brand architects in the game. And if she's backing away from LV without saying a word, that silence speaks volumes. She knows this scandal could leave a stain that's hard to wipe off. And someone like Kylie, who built her image on being flawless, untouchable, and always 2 steps ahead, doesn't risk that for anyone, not even for Louis Vuitton. Now Kim, she's in a real tight spot. She's been riding hard for Louis Vuitton, rocking it to court hearings, landing major collabs, front row at every LV event like clockwork. But according to Megyn Kelly, things are shifting fast. Word is, her team's in full panic mode behind the scenes, trying to figure out how to quietly backpedal. Sources say there's heavy pressure from her inner circle to pause all LV promos until this whole scandal cools off. And if Kim actually pulls back, that's not just a subtle move, that's a Hollywood-level alert. It would scream loud and clear that Louis Vuitton isn't a safe brand to stand by right now. And when someone with Kim's influence steps away, others will follow. Now here's where it gets even messier. There's buzz going around about a stylist blacklist. The tea? Top-tier red carpet stylists are allegedly passing around a do not pull list. And guess who's sitting right at the top? Yep, Louis Vuitton. The logic is savage. If you dress your client in LV right now, you're not dressing them in elegance. You're turning them into a walking billboard for controversy. That quiet luxury vibe, gone. It's all eyes on the scandal, and stylists want no part of it. This kind of blacklist spreads fast in the industry, and apparently it's already hit the highest circles. Even Beyoncé's name got dragged into the mix. A now-deleted tweet from someone claiming inside access said Bey was offered a custom Louis Vuitton piece for her Renaissance tour film premiere, but she pulled out last minute. Why? Because even the Queen doesn't want that kind of baggage. Word on the street is Beyoncé's team gave Louis Vuitton 54 hours, just over 2 days, to clear the air and publicly explain their shady factory connections. But when 55 stayed silent, that custom dress reportedly got scrapped, gone, just like that. Whether every single detail is true or not, the rumor alone had Stan Twitter in full meltdown mode. And honestly, it tracks. You can't play silent when your whole luxury brand is on fire. Now here's where Gen Z steps in, and they're not playing nice. There's a savage new TikTok trend blowing up right now called the LVPGE Challenge, and it's as messy as it sounds. Influencers, mini-celebs, and even a few ex-brand loyalists are going viral purging their Louis Vuitton pieces. We're talking on-camera bag dumps. Some are reselling, others donating, and yep, a few are flat out trashing their LV gear like it's yesterday's news. And fans are tagging the big dogs, Zendaya, Hailey Bieber, Gigi Hadid, asking straight up, "You purging next or what?" Suddenly, Louis Vuitton isn't the pinnacle of luxury. It's turning into a fashion red flag. From iconic to iconic mess, that's how quick the status flipped. In Hollywood, being linked to that kind of scandal, it's social suicide. Nobody wants to be the face of a collapsing empire. And Megyn Kelly didn't stop there. Her viral mic drop moment came with a warning that shook the entire fashion world. She said, "Louis Vuitton is just the first domino, but it won't be the last." According to her, this is only phase 1 of something way deeper and way more dangerous. Megyn Kelly is dropping another bomb. She says a wave of whistleblowers from China's manufacturing world is about to come forward. And trust, they're loaded with receipts. We're talking years of dirt. Invoices, shipping records, voice memos, and even screenshots of luxury brand reps begging for last-minute orders and offering secret bonuses under the table. the real explosion? Megyn claims they're sitting on internal memos that allegedly prove some of the biggest brands in the world knew their made in France or made in Italy claims were total lies. And now, the entire fashion industry is holding its breath. Because if she's right, Louis Vuitton was just the opening act. Sources say at least 3 more elite fashion houses are under quiet surveillance right now, and it's not just hearsay. Whispers are turning into real movement. Word is, several whistleblowers have already reached out to investigative journalists, legal teams, and even content creators ready to leak everything. And the brands being named? Heavy hitters, Chanel, Prada, Balmain, labels that built billion-dollar legacies on exclusivity, heritage, and European craftsmanship. But behind the curtains, allegedly the same factories, the same fake origin labels, and the same shady backdoor operations that Louis Vuitton just got burned for. And guess what? These brands are scrambling. Legal teams are being stacked. NDAs are getting enforced like never before. And yes, there's even talk of hush money flying around to keep mouths shut and secrets buried. But this ain't 2005. In the age of TikTok, Reddit leaks, and viral exposés, nothing stays hidden for long. This could be fashion's version of a financial crash. One wrong email, one leaked memo, one TikTok with receipts, and boom, another empire gets snatched down. This drama? It's nowhere near over, it's just heating up. For every influencer and celeb caught up in the chaos, even the tiniest move, a tagged brand, a red carpet fit, a casual collab, is now a risky gamble. Folks are watching to see who's next to ditch these brands and who's about to go down with them. Behind the scenes, brands are in straight-up panic mode. They're trying to spin this mess, but let's be real, it might already be too late. Louis Vuitton's silence? It's turned into a masterclass on how not to handle a scandal. Other luxury houses are watching every move, hoping to dodge the spotlight before their own dirt spills. PR teams are clocking in overtime. Crisis statements, locked and loaded, backup plans, in the works. Some brands are even launching internal audits, not to clean up their act, but just to figure out what could leak first. And it's not just the fashion houses sweating. Fashion Week organizers are stressed out too. There's major fear about the fallout if a designer struts down the runway wearing a label that just got exposed. Rumors are flying about last-minute shakeups, backup designers getting called in, and emergency changes just to avoid being part of the mess. Meanwhile, the consumers? They are not playing around. The vibe has gone from shocked to straight-up savage. People who dropped thousands on bags and pieces they thought were artisan-made are now furious. They're posting side-by-side comparisons, exposing the flaws, demanding refunds, and turning every receipt into viral content. TikTok? It's officially the new watchdog. And these brands, they can't hit delete fast enough. Once it's out there, it's over. Megyn Kelly didn't just stir the pot. She flipped the whole table with her final warning. According to her, this is just the beginning of what she's calling the Great Fashion Reckoning. And what's coming next? A digital drop, an anonymous data dump that could blow the lid off dozens of luxury fashion houses all at once. She says, if that happens, this won't just be another fashion scandal. It'll be an extinction event for some of the industry's biggest, most powerful names. We're talking legacy brands, the ones people wear like trophies. Megyn claims all those iconic made-in tags, straight-up illusions, just high-end marketing tricks wrapped in billion-dollar branding. And Megyn didn't hedge her words. She said this drop won't stop with Louis Vuitton. The receipts allegedly hit multiple major labels, brands people flaunt with pride as symbols of status, wealth, and class. The ones folks think scream, "I made it." She didn't name drop, but the warning couldn't have been louder. If you've seen the brand on a Vogue cover, on the Met Gala carpet, or sprinkled across a celebrity's perfectly curated Instagram feed, it might be on that list, and it might be next. According to Megyn, what's coming isn't just about fashion, it's about truth. The kind of truth that could shatter illusions and force a total redefinition of what luxury even means. No more smoke, no more mirrors, just receipts, and the raw fallout that follows. Once people clock how many of these so-called luxury brands have been outsourcing to unregulated factories, while running profit margins that look more like fast fashion, but still slapping on $5,000 price tags, yeah, the whole fantasy collapses. This ain't just a dip in sales, it's a psychological shatter. It rips apart the illusion of exclusivity, elegance, and that high society dream these brands have been feeding us for decades. And here's where it gets wild. Megyn Kelly says some of these Chinese factories are already in talks with major media outlets. Not gossip blogs, but big-time platforms ready to air the truth. She claims bombshell interviews are on the way, exposing exactly where those heritage pieces really came from. If those receipts go public, this won't just be another scandal. It'll be a straight-up extinction-level event for fashion's elite. This isn't just about overpriced handbags anymore. This is about power shifting. For the first time ever, the workers and manufacturers, the ones who actually built the empire, are stepping out of the shadows and demanding credit. They're ready to take the spotlight and shake the entire industry. With Megyn Kelly blowing the lid wide open, the panic is real. Celebs are backing away, stylists are pulling out, fans are dumping bags. And Louis Vuitton? That grip they've had on the culture for years? It's slipping fast. We're watching a fashion revolution happen in real time, and it's only getting louder. If you're here for the truth and the tea, don't miss a beat. Like, subscribe, share, and drop your take in the comments below. This saga, it's just getting started. See you on the next one.